Hello, Market Watcher. I'm David Ravel, and this, our look at Wall Street for Wednesday, February 24. First, is this any way to run a recovery? Then a big drop in new mortgage applications. All that and our preview of the rest of today's corporate results, along with the latest news on the economy, coming right up. Well, it's called an interagency response, and it's a coordinated way that this country deals with many of its major disasters. I've seen it work in California during their wildfires. Firemen from without the state are carefully staged, moving into place so that as many as possible can fight the fire, while others move up to protect the outlying towns and cities. I've also seen it here in Pennsylvania, where an ice storm knocked out electricity to thousands, and relief crews from as far away as Montreal, Canada, came to help. Dozens of different agencies, all working in a coordinated manner to solve the problem. Well, this week, we get a rare look at the three government sectors who are leading this economic recovery: the Federal Reserve, the nation's central bank, the Congress, and all of the state and local governments. Now, each play a slightly different role in promoting recovery. First up this week has been Jerome Powell, chairman of the Federal Reserve. He's testifying this week before the Senate Banking Committee, that was yesterday, and today before the House Financial Services Committee. This is all part of his mandated twice-yearly report to Congress. In evaluating Powell's comment from yesterday, it's clear that the central bank is fully on board in promoting recovery. Powell reiterated their goal of maintaining low interest rates and available credit, the two keys that the banker can use to promote economic activity. Now, this week is also the time when the Congress is debating the latest stimulus package. These are funds that are earmarked to directly provide payments to individuals and entities throughout the country. Last week, the Democrats presented their version of this latest stimulus, and because they have a majority in the House, this is the measure that is likely to become law. Now, frankly, as promoting an economic recovery, I give this proposal a failing grade. Yes, there are many parts in the bill that some will find laudable: aid to schools and colleges, aid to women and children, and even aid to state and local governments. But when it comes to actually supporting the productive sectors of the economy, this stimulus package falls far short. We discussed this yesterday, but the part of the economy that is really hurting, the small businesses, actually is presented with a series of disincentives, as we would say in economics. Precious little is presented in the form of direct payment, and what little there is really a loan, not a grant, meaning that it merely adds a future burden on these small businessmen and women. Finally, the bill proposes a higher minimum wage, increasing their expenses at a time when their incomes are falling. Hardly something to promote economic recovery, especially among the 40% of the economy, which is small business. Finally, we come to the hodgepodge response of the state and local governments. Here, any effort at coordination is clearly missing. Right now, we have various states and municipalities which are pursuing polar opposite approaches. We have Florida doing all it can to open up its economy by removing virtually all of the various restrictions to business. While just up the 95 highway, Virginia is perhaps the most locked down of all states currently, promoting all kinds of limitations on small businesses. Just a week ago, USA Today, in a very lengthy article, tried to outline the, quote, patchwork of restrictions and social distancing requirements that are now in place across the country. And while at the moment the trend seems to be towards relaxing restrictions, who knows how long that will last? What will be the trigger for governors and mayors that will cause them to lock down their economies once again? Will next fall advent of more respiratory virus cases cause us to go through this all over again? Well, there really is no answer to that question. So imagine that you're a small business person, debating whether to reopen and try again, or just to close for the last time. It has to be one of the most difficult decisions of a lifetime. Now, in economic news today, we saw a big drop in new mortgage applications. This was attributed to the spate of bad weather we had across the nations last week. But we will need to keep an eye on this one, as real estate has been one of the truly shining parts of this economy. Also in economic news today, in just a few minutes, Jerome Powell will begin part 2 of the Fed Chairman's report to Congress, this time before the House Financial Services Committee. It all gets started at about 10 o'clock Eastern Time. In earnings today, mostly positive results posted. Good news from Lowe's, the home improvement stores, Royal Bank of Canada, and Exelon, the big East Coast utility. Especially good news from Horizon Therapeutics. They're a generic drug company. And after a couple of good quarterly results, TJX Corporation, the parent of TJ Maxx stores, sold off today on today's earnings. And that's our look at Wall Street for Wednesday, February 24. I'm David Ravel. Please join me in praying that our country may get back to work.